Hello everyone, welcome to my channel where I show you how to create amazing 3D environments in Unreal Engine 5. In this video, I am going to take you through the process of creating a tropic town environment with stunning lighting and details. This is a collection of high-quality building assets inspired by the colonial architecture of West Africa. I use Blender to create the realistic 3D models and Substance Painter to add the fine detail and textures. To purchase this collection, please visit CG Trader and search for Colonial Buildings collection. To start, you need to create a landscape in Unreal Engine and then drag and drop the building assets into the scene. The inspiration for this scene came from a beautiful town called Grand-Bassam, located in Côte d'Ivoire, West Africa. Grand-Bassam is a popular resort town with a long and sandy beach along the Atlantic Ocean. But what makes this town special is its rich and colorful history. Grand-Bassam was once the capital of Côte d'Ivoire and a major trading center for the French colonial empire. These houses have a distinctive architectural style that blend European and African influence. They are also slowly decaying due to the effect of time and weather, creating a contrast between the past and the present. I wanted to capture this contrast and this charm in my scene, using my colonial building assets and Unreal Engine. Another way to enhance the scene is to use some of the amazing materials from Quicksaw Bridge. You can browse and download the materials that you like from Quicksaw Bridge and then import them easily to Unreal Engine. To do this, you just need to click on the plus icon in Quicksaw Bridge material. I used the Unreal Sensei Auto Landscape material for the landscape. My favorite feature about this material is hiding the tile repetition pattern of the texture and makes the landscape look more natural and realistic. You can download this material for free from the link in the description. One of the things that can make a scene look more realistic and natural is to have some variation in the terrain. A flat land is boring and unrealistic, so I need to sculpt it to create some bumps and hills. To do this, I'm going to use the Sculpt tool in Unreal Engine, which allows me to modify the height and the shape of the landscape. To create this fire, I use a spline component in a Blueprint actor. A spline component is a tool that allows you to create and edit curves in Unreal Engine. I then place the Blueprint actor in the scene and duplicate it it as many times as I need it. Now that I have the buildings and the landscape in place, it's time to add some props to make the scene more lively and realistic. I'm going to place these props around the buildings and on the streets to create some variety and interest. You can see how these props add a more detail and texture to the scene and make it more authentic. Every month, Unreal Marketplace gives away 5 free assets that you can keep forever if you purchase them for $0. This June, one of the free assets is Shanty Town Slums. I downloaded it and added it to a new project. The best thing about this asset is the coconut tree. I was going to buy the coconut tree from Sketchfab, but luckily Unreal Engine offered this asset this month. This asset pack also has fences, booths, plants, trees, rocks, and more. add some grass to the scene, I use the foliage mode. The foliage mode lets you paint grass and other plants on the landscape. I adjusted and scaled the density of the grass to make it look realistic and varied. I painted the grass randomly because nature is not organized, and I want to create some diversity and contrast. To add some vehicles to the scene, I use the City Sample Vehicles asset pack from Unreal Engine. This asset pack has different types of cars and trucks that you can use in your projects. I chose a taxi car from the asset pack because I wanted to create a feeling of excitement, adventure, and holiday in the scene. A taxi car suggests that someone is traveling or exploring a new place. One of the important aspects of creating a scene is to optimize the performance and the quality of the assets. For this scene, I use different texture resolutions for the buildings and the props. For the buildings, I use 4K textures, which means 4096 by 4096 pixels. This gives the building a high level of detail and clarity, especially when you zoom in or get close to them. For the props, I use 2K texture, which means 2048 by 2048 pixels. This is enough to make the props look good, but not too much to affect the performance. The props have a smaller surface area than the buildings, so they don't need as much resolution. By using different texture resolutions, I was able to balance the performance and the quality of the scene. last step is to tweak the lighting and post-processing effect to give the scene a more realistic and cinematic look. I use a post-processing volume to adjust the exposure of the scene. The exposure controls how bright or dark the scene is. I increase the exposure to make the scene look brighter and warmer. This creates a more sunny and tropical atmosphere for the scene. And that's how I create a 3D environment in Unreal Engine 5. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment below. I would love to hear from you and help you out. Is there any part of the process that you want me to explain more? Thank you for watching and see you next time.